Most people quit before the pain even starts. You've been lied to your whole life, told that avoiding hardship makes you happy. That's garbage. You're not unhappy because life is hard. You're unhappy because you've never tested yourself. You've never taken your mind to the edge and slammed it against the wall until it bled toughness. When you callous your hands, you don't do it by sitting in the shade. You do it by grabbing the roughest, every heaviest weight you can find and tearing your skin until it stops tearing. Your mind, it works the same damn way. Every time you skip a workout because you're tired, every time you choose comfort over grind, every time you let excuses talk you out of discipline, you soften that mind. And a soft mind is a weak weapon. You want strength, you have to earn it in the trenches. Wake up early when your bed is warm. Run when your lungs are burning. Lift when your muscles scream, enough. That's when the callus forms. In the moments you want to quit but don't. You think resilience just shows up when life punches you. No. Resilience is built in the hours when no one's watching, when you're suffering for no medal, no applause, no likes. It's built when you choose the pain, not when pain chooses you. The truth is, most people are scared of discomfort because they've never stayed there long enough to adapt. The only way to master the mind is to break it down and rebuild it stronger over and over again. Callous your mind. Make it so damn tough that when life swings at you, it breaks its own fist. This is your life. Nobody's coming to save you. No one's carrying you to greatness. You either keep living soft, or you turn your mind into a fortress no fear can breach. The choice is yours, but if you want to know the truth, the real truth, comfort is the slowest form of death. If you want, I can also craft a more aggressive, story-driven version where the speech starts with a personal war story to pull the audience in before hitting them with the lessons. That would make it even more in your face. Pain is where it all begins. People run from it like it's the plague. But that's because they've been taught wrong since the day they could walk. They think pain is a signal to stop, a warning sign, a wall you're not supposed to climb. But pain isn't the enemy. It's the damn training ground. It's the only place where the mind transforms from soft, weak, and scared into something unbreakable. Think about calluses on your hands. You don't get them by flipping through your phone or hiding in a warm room. You get them by grabbing iron, pulling, pushing, tearing, and grinding through that raw, skin-ripping friction. At first it hurts so bad you want to let go, but you don't. You keep holding on until that pain becomes part of you. Then one day, the skin is harder, stronger, ready for more. That's exactly how the mind works. Your mind is soft because you've been protecting it. You've been cushioning it from stress, avoiding anything that makes you uncomfortable. Every time you choose the easy route, you're telling your mind it can stay weak, but you can't protect something and expect it to be strong at the same time. You have to drag your mind into the fire and make it burn. You have to show it what it's capable of surviving. Pain strips away the lies. When you're in it, there's no pretending. You can't fake being tough when your lungs are screaming and your legs feel like concrete. In that moment, the only thing left is the truth. Who you are when everything in you wants to quit. Most people fail here because they think pain is a sign they've reached their limit. It's not. Pain is the doorway to the limit, and the limit isn't even real. It's a line your mind drew to protect you from hard work, when you keep pushing through, when you live in that pain longer than anyone else, something changes. You stop seeing pain as the enemy and start seeing it as the teacher. You learn that pain is building you. Every miserable rep, every freezing mile, every ounce of weight you think you can't lift is forging steel inside your head. The stronger that steel gets, the more impossible things you can take on without breaking. The truth is, pain doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, cold, hungry, or scared. It's there to see if you've got the guts to stay in the fight. Every time you survive, every time you stay just 1 second longer than the voice telling you to stop, you're adding another layer of armor to your mind. And just like calluses on your hands, those mental calluses never really go away. They remind you of what you've endured and whisper, "You can take more?" Most people spend their whole life chasing comfort like it's some kind of prize. They think the goal is to make things easier, softer, smoother. But comfort is a trap. It lulls you into weakness. It makes you fragile. You don't get tough by staying warm, fed, and entertained all the time. You get tough by stepping straight into the places that make you want to turn around and run. You have to seek discomfort every single day, because the second you stop stressing the mind, it starts rotting. When you choose discomfort on purpose, you're telling your mind, "We don't get to relax into mediocrity." That might mean waking up before the sun when the bed feels like the safest place in the world. It might mean going for a run in the pouring rain when every excuse in your head tells you to wait for better weather. It might mean lifting weights when your body is sore, or speaking up in a room when your voice is shaking. It's about making yourself step into the things that make your stomach turn and your heart race. The problem is, most people wait for life to throw them challenges. They sit in comfort until something bad happens, and by then, it's too late. They're not prepared. The mind is like a muscle. If you're not working it, it's shrinking. If you're not testing it, it's getting weaker by the day. And when a real storm hits, you're going to fold. Not because you couldn't survive, but because you never trained yourself to. Every time you put yourself in discomfort, you're building a reserve of strength. You're teaching your mind to operate when things aren't ideal. When you're cold, hungry, tired, or scared, you start to realize that discomfort isn't this deadly thing your mind makes it out to be. It's just a sensation. It's just a signal that you're somewhere new, somewhere hard, somewhere that will shape you if you stay there long enough. And here's the thing, discomfort doesn't get easier. You just get better at carrying it. At first, it feels like a shock. Your heart pounds, your breathing spikes, your thoughts scream for you to quit. But the more you do it, the more you recognize that those signals are just noise. They don't control you unless you let them. You learn to quiet the panic, to keep moving even when your mind is begging for comfort. The people who are truly dangerous in life are the ones who are at home in discomfort. They've trained themselves to walk straight in the cold, the pain, the uncertainty, because they know that's where growth lives. They know comfort is a slow poison, and the antidote is found in daily doses of hard, uncomfortable work. So every day you put yourself there. You put yourself in the cold, the dark, the grind, until discomfort isn't a place you visit. It's where you live. Everybody wants the glory, but nobody wants the grind. They want the medal, the applause, the social media post that makes them look like a warrior. But when it comes to the long, every lonely hours of doing the same hard thing over and over again, they vanish. They don't understand that transformation doesn't happen under bright lights. It happens in the shadows, in the boring, brutal repetitions that nobody will ever clap for. The grind is ugly. It's not cinematic. It's not exciting. It's you waking up before the world, dragging yourself through the same motions day after day. Even when you're not seeing results, it's running the same route until your shoes fall apart. It's lifting that same weight until your hands are raw. It's doing the same drills until your mind begs for something new. And that's where most people quit. They think progress should feel fun. They think if it's boring, it's not working. But the grind is where the work actually counts. Glory is just the surface. The grind is the foundation. Without it, the moment you want so badly doesn't exist. The victory, the achievement, the transformation, it all comes from thousands of invisible moments that no one will ever see. You're not going to post about the mornings you stared at the alarm clock, debating whether to get up. Nobody's going to celebrate you for doing one more rep when your body is screaming. Nobody's going to pat you on the back for doing the small, unsexy things right every single time. But that's where champions are built. The grind demands that you show up when there's nothing in it for you. No applause, no guarantee, no instant gratification, just you and the work. You have to love that part, not tolerate it, not survive it, but love it. Because that's the part that transforms you. When you live in the grind long enough, it stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like home. You learn to crave the discipline, the repetition, the predictability of showing up and putting in the work, no matter what's going on in your life. Most people are addicted to the high of achievement. They work hard only when a deadline or an event is close. But they don't have the patience for the endless grind in between. That's why they stay average. They don't realize that the grind is the filter. It separates the ones who talk from the ones who live it. It's not enough to push hard for a week or a month. You have to push hard when you're years deep and nobody's watching. The grind will break you if you're in it for glory. But if you're in it for growth, it will make you unstoppable. Every day you show up in the dark, every time you repeat the same hard task, when nobody cares, you're laying another brick. And one day, that wall you've been building will stand tall for everyone to see. But you know it was built in silence, with your bare hands, one brutal, boring repetition at a time. Feelings are liars. They'll tell you you're too tired, too sore, too stressed to keep going. They'll whisper that you deserve a break, that you've already done enough, that it's okay to quit today and try again tomorrow. If you let those feelings call the shots, you'll never become anything more than average. Your moods change with the wind, but discipline doesn't care about weather. Discipline shows up the same way every single day, no matter how you feel. That's why you have to detach from emotional weakness. When you operate based on feelings, you hand over control of your life to your lowest moments. On the days you're fired up, you'll push. On the days you're drained, you'll fold. That's not how you build something unbreakable. You can't just show up when it feels good. You've got to show up especially when it feels bad. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals, between people who dream and people who do. The mind will come up with 1,000 excuses to protect you from discomfort. It'll tell you that you're not ready, that today isn't the right day, that you should wait until you feel more motivated. But that's just weakness in disguise. Waiting for motivation is the same as waiting for weakness to disappear on its own. It's never going to happen. You have to act in spite of it. You have to step into the work while the weakness is screaming, and you have to do it without negotiating. Discipline is a decision, not an emotion. You decide that no matter what's happening inside your head, the work is getting done. You decide that you're going to run even if you didn't sleep well, that you're going to train even if your body's sore, that you're going to stick to your plan even when the world throws distractions at you. When you operate on decisions instead of moods, you stop being a prisoner to your own emotions. Most people sabotage themselves because they confuse how they feel with what they're capable of. Just because you feel tired doesn't mean you can't perform. Just because you feel scared doesn't mean you can't move forward. Just because you feel unmotivated doesn't mean you can't execute. Feelings are temporary. Discipline is permanent. And the more you choose discipline over mood, the more your mind learns that feelings don't matter. You have to train yourself to be a machine in those moments. Switch off the noise, lock in on the task, and execute. Don't stop to think about whether you want to. Don't wait for some magical wave of energy to hit you. Just move. Every time you act, without letting emotion dictate the outcome, you're cutting off the weakness at the root. You're telling your mind that it's not in charge. You are. And once you fully detach from emotional weakness, nothing it throws at you can slow you down. Setbacks are where most people throw in the towel. They hit a wall, fall short, get knocked on their ass, and the first thing they do is start whining about how unfair it is. They replay the loss over and over like it's proof they're not good enough. But a setback is never the end. It's raw material. You can either waste it by complaining, or you can forge it into armor so thick nothing can break you next time. Failure hurts. It crushes your ego, embarrasses you, makes you question why you even started. But that's exactly why it's valuable. That pain is feedback. It's showing you the weak spots, the gaps, the mistakes you couldn't see when you were moving full speed. Most people avoid looking at those weak spots because it's uncomfortable. They'd rather protect their pride than confront the truth. But if you want to build something strong, you have to strip it down, find every flaw, and rebuild it stronger than before. Every time you fail, you have a choice. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. The people who quit after a setback are the same ones who never really committed in the first place. The ones who keep going are the ones who understand that the scar is part of the process. They take the hit, study it, learn from it, and walk back into the fight with another layer of mental armor. That armor isn't built in success. It's built in the losses you survive. You don't get tougher by winning every time. You get tougher by getting knocked down and refusing to stay there. When you face a setback, you're in the perfect position to decide what kind of person you're going to be. Do you break? Do you stay down, or do you stand up with that sting still fresh and keep moving forward? Every time you choose to keep going, you're adding another layer. It might not be visible, but it's there. And when life hits you again, and you'll take the hit differently. The more you embrace setbacks, the more you start to realize they're not obstacles at all. They're training. They're sharpening you, conditioning you, preparing you for bigger battles. People who run from failure never get that. They stay fragile because they never let themselves get hit enough to grow. But the ones who turn every loss into a lesson keep stacking armor until they're untouchable. This isn't about pretending failure doesn't hurt. It's about refusing to waste it. You take the pain, you take the lesson, and you carry it forward. You don't let bitterness rot you from the inside. You turn every setback into something that makes you harder to kill. Because in the end, the ones who win aren't the ones who never lose. They're the ones who've been through hell so many times. Hell got tired of seeing them. The moment it really matters isn't at the starting line. It's not when the energy is high, the music is pumping, and you feel unstoppable. The real test comes deep into the grind. When everything in you is breaking down, when your body's on fire, your mind's screaming at you to quit, and your soul feels like it's slipping out of you, that's the point where most people tap out. But that's also the point where the real growth lives. True mental callous doesn't form in comfort. It's forged in that brutal place where pain and doubt collide, and you choose to keep moving anyway. When the pain hits hard, the mind becomes a lawyer for quitting. It brings you every excuse, every justification, every soft option you can take to make the suffering stop. It'll tell you you've done enough, that you've already proven your point, that no one will blame you for walking away. And if you buy into that story, you'll never know what you're actually capable of. You'll live your whole life operating at 50%, thinking it's 100. Pushing past that moment isn't about ignoring pain. It's about accepting it as part of the process. Pain is the toll you pay to cross into the territory most people will never see. You have to get comfortable being in that deep, dark hole where time feels slow and every step is heavier than the last. That's where you stop being just another person putting in effort and start becoming something different. Something that can't be broken easily. It's not just physical. When you're that deep in the fight, your emotions start to turn on you. You might feel hopeless, angry, or convinced that the finish line is impossible to reach. That's when you have to shut down the noise in your head and lock onto the smallest possible target. The next step, the next breath, the next rep. You strip away everything except forward motion. Every second you stay in that fight when your body, mind, and soul want out, you're layering on mental armor that can't be taken away. The next time you hit that wall, it won't feel quite as tall. You remember the time you kept going when everything in you said stop, and you'll know you can do it again. That knowledge is a weapon. Most people never earn it because they've never stayed in the hurt long enough to find out what's on the other side. You can train for months, even years, but if you run when the pain gets ugly, all that work is just surface level. It's in those last brutal minutes, those final ugly miles, those last heavy sets when your vision blurs and your muscles shake, that you finally meet the part of yourself you've been chasing. That's the version of you that doesn't break. That's the version that lives in the fight long after quitting became the easier option. You've got one life, and every second you spend hiding from pain, chasing comfort, or waiting for motivation is a second you're handing away. This isn't about talent. It's not about luck, it's about showing up when it's hard, and staying in the fight when it's ugly, and stacking those mental calluses until nothing and no one can break you. Stop negotiating with weakness. Stop letting feelings run the show. Step into the grind, take the hits, turn every setback into armor, and keep swinging long after your body, mind, and soul beg you to stop. You want to be unstoppable? Then you better be willing to suffer more, longer, and harder than anyone else. That's the price. Pay it every damn day.